Good morning, afternoon, or evening. I have tried to record this about 4 times within the time frame, so it's going to be quick and dirty tonight. But listen, this is week 6. Congratulations. We have a remote field trip to the Shaver Creek Environmental Center. Y'all will learn all about it, but just trust me, this paper relates to it. You'll see, just trust. I chose the ecology and evolution of human wildlife cooperation because Tarzan and the Jungle Book are not peer reviewed. Here's our extensive list of authors. We're going to focus on the first two, and let's get into it. Gosh, let's get into it. Our authors, Dr. Dominic Cram, Dr. Jessica Vanderwall. Let's see what they've got to say. This is the biography off of the AfricanHoneyGuides.com website. Please go to this website. That's where both of our authors do most of their just go to the website. That's where they do their work. Dr. Cram currently works as a lecturer at Edinburgh Napier University. Dr. Cram's background is in mutualistic relationships between mammals and wild birds. He's pretty much spent his entire academic and postdoc career focusing on mammal and bird interactions, specifically like symbiotic relationships between the two. So he's a pro. His current research, the same research that Dr. Vanderwall is doing, is the foraging partnership that honey guides have with humans. The greater honey guide is the name of the bird. They're, they call them honey guides. Besides the point, Dr. Vanderwall. Here's her biography off the same website. She works at the Max Planck University of Cape Town Center for Behavioral and Coevolution. Her background is in foraging ecology and ornithology. She did her PhD on the foraging ecology, and then she's been a bird gal her whole academic career. So again, she's a pro, and her research is the same as Dr. Cram's, right now at least. It is the mutualisms between honey hunters and the honey guides. Now each group of honey guides interact differently. It's cool stuff. You'll see. Synthesis overview. This is a synthesis paper. There's going to be multiple case studies. We're going to go through a few of them quickly. And but primarily our authors do their own research, which is a case study in the synthesis. So no worries about that. They do it in Tanzania, Mozambique, and Zambia, which is within the home range of our honey guides. So species of study is us and the greater honey guide right now. So here's what these bad boys look like. They're interesting looking little folks. The home range right here, it's interesting. They have little pockets where they don't exist and then they just do. But our authors focus in right here. Most of their research happens in Mozambique, but they do travel to Zambia and Tanzania. The honey guides, they guide they're honey hunters. The honey hunters are the people. The honey guides are the birds. Just just roll with me, okay? The honey guides take these folks, they fly to where the beehives are. And the honey hunters will go up and steal the beehive because they want the honey. I like honey. I don't blame them. So they share with the birds, though. They eat what they want, they take what they want, and then they leave the stuff for the birds. It forms a friendship. They make friends with the birds and they eat honey together. I think it's beautiful. Other examples in this paper you're going to read about are orcas. There's the reference for that. They bring the other aquatic life to the top. Fishermen and whalers get it. They get a cut out of it. It's the same deal. Now, an extinct, not extinct, well, the relationship is extinct. It's dead. Wild wolves and people, the indigenous folks had it going on before the domestication of canids. Like before we had dogs, there were wolves, and then indigenous folks. They worked together, they protected each other, they hunted together. It was awesome. Wish I could have been there. They don't do that no more. We don't do that no more, but we do have dogs. Mine are right in front of me. So, why is this important? Well, we're people, so it should be important to us to begin with. But this is not just us studying wildlife. This is, ooh, wildlife can help us, which I feel like should tickle our people brain and be like, maybe we should focus in on this. These are symbiotic relationships. They're supposed to help us too. So these are dwindling. Like I said, the wolves, we don't do that anymore. So the honey guides are really one of the very few examples that we have of a symbiotic relationship between people and a wildlife species today. Um, but the reason for that is, and the reason for the, drop in research is because we as people are kind of like exiling ourselves out of the natural world. You know, I live right outside of Atlanta. I know people who don't even like raccoons in their yard. Girl, you're in Georgia, you're going to have raccoons in your yard. You know what I'm saying? So, this is important stuff. Your field trip will really get you in the mood for this. I feel like you're going to like this paper, I promise. And if you don't, tell me in the discussion nicely. Um, Future directions. The authors have a huge list of resources. Please scroll through. If you find something interesting in the paper, look at that source and just go read the paper because it's probably good. But I listed two extremely interesting ones right here that if you're like a human dimensions person and you want to like really dive into this, I would start with these two. In the future, our authors leave us with a whole host of questions at the end of this paper. Not much is answered, unfortunately, but there is much to be done. We have our work cut out for us. A lot of it's going to require outreach, education, policy change, which is daunting. Um, just what's the best way for us to coexist with wildlife? I mean, are symbiotic relationships even possible in certain parts of the world? Are symbiotic relationships that were once um, there, can we restore them somehow? And would it even be worth the effort? So a lot of these questions, that's future directions, that's future research. And if that stuff interests you, please talk to me because it does me too, and it's kind of weird. So enjoy the paper, and I will see you in the discussion. Bye, y'all.